Hey everyone! So, since New Year's is coming up, well, tomorrow, New Year's Eve is tomorrow, it's one of those times of the year that can be hard for some people or can be joyful depending on the situations that you're in. So, I just wanted to talk a little bit about New Year's for me and how New Year's makes me feel. Um, if you've been following my blog, you know that I'm still pretty young. I'm like 25, so I feel like, like that I have a family and that I'm obligated to stay at home and do certain things with my husband and my daughter and stuff like that. But there are also times when I wish that, like, I had, like, a close friend, to say, hey, let's go do this together or whatever. And I haven't really had a lot of those kinds of experiences in my life. Like, past New Year's that I can think of, I've mostly spent with my mom and, my family members growing up when I was younger. And my mom would, like, always just, like, order a ton of Chinese food and we all just sit around and eat our faces off and watch movies together, or we'd watch like the countdown on TV until midnight and just celebrate together as a family. But the few times that one time that I remember spending it with friends was when I was with my ex, which was when I was about 16, 17. And we were living on our own at the time, near like this downtown part of a city, which the downtown strip is like basically all bars and nightclubs and like night scene kind of stuff. So we figured we'd get drunk at the apartment and go for a walk to see what was going on. And we went for a walk for a long time, and then we decided to come back to the apartment because I wasn't feeling very well. And I remember we were like walking up literally the street that I lived on, and these two guys in a red car like whipped a McDonald's cup out the window, and it just so happened that it hit me, and it was filled with like, I think, root beer or Coke or something, and I got completely drenched. And it was root beer, actually. That's what it was. It was root beer. I remember now because the smell of it is what made me throw up in the driveway when we got to the apartment, because I absolutely despise root beer. So the smell of it was like making me feel even more nauseous than I already was. So we lived at this apartment complex. So if you know obviously what an apartment complex is, it more than one person lives there. There's usually multiple floors. There's a main entrance. And we so happened to live on the ground floor, so we would sometimes just go through like our patio door because it was right beside where the main door was. But on the way in, I like threw up literally like in the little crescent part of the front entrance of the driveway. And the next day we had the superintendent knocking on our door for me to like go out and clean up my puke that was in the driveway. So that was, awesome and embarrassing. Currently now, my husband and I don't usually do anything special on New Year's. He is 13 years older than me, so he's had a little bit more life experience than I have, and he's already had kind of, I guess, 20 stages of his life out of his system, and he doesn't like feel the need to like go out on New Year's and like celebrate and do anything special. Another problem with New Year's for me is like the whole social anxiety in large groups. Like if I don't feel comfortable in the situation, I can get anxiety very quickly and get overwhelmed and just like need to leave. And that usually happens a lot in situations where there's excessive drinking. And New Year's is one of those holidays where everyone excessively drinks to celebrate nothing, to celebrate the new year, to celebrate starting anew, which is funny to me because, like, why do you have to wait till the beginning of a new year to make changes to your life? Like, if you want to start fresh, you can do that anytime. To me, you don't have to wait until January 1st to have an excuse to do something to change your life or, you know, a reason. The whole New Year's resolution thing to me just puts like unnecessary pressure on people. Like, say you have a goal to lose 50 pounds by the end of the year, and you know next year rolls around and you've only lost 30 pounds. Like, you're gonna feel pretty crappy about that. Like, hey, I had a whole year to complete my goal and I didn't do it. A whole friggin' year. So I don't like putting myself in situations where I can like set myself up for failure. So until I know I'm ready to make certain changes, I don't usually, you know, participate in the whole New Year's resolution thing. And there's also a story that happened just last year on New Year's Eve that I almost forgot about. I was basically coming home from work on New Year's Eve, and I had just picked up my kid from my my aunt's place because she was taking care of her that day for me while I was working. And I was on my way home through like a side road that was kind of like twisty and turny. And I don't usually use this road very often, but there was an accident on the other road that I usually use, so I had to take like a detour to go home, to go around a longer way. And so I was going down this road and we came over these train tracks, and I just like felt the car kind of like go like airy, if you know what I mean. Like you felt like the car was like flying almost, or just floating. And I tried to turn the wheel and like nothing happened, and before you know it, we're like going around this truck and the back end of my car is coming out and we're like rolling off into the ditch. So yeah, that was how I spent last New Year's Eve. So I don't know, this year I'm kind of thinking I should just probably stay in the house and not even give myself opportunities to mess anything up for the start of next year, because I just want next year to go really well. I just want things to get better. And I've hit like pretty much rock bottom this year, so I can only see things going up from here. And I just want to remind everyone that I'm not perfect either. And I try my best to be honest and open, so that you can honestly feel like you're not alone. I know I finish every one of my videos saying that, but I want you to understand why. Pretty much my entire life, even when I've been around people, I've felt alone on the inside. So I just want people to know that they're not really alone, that there really are people out there that feel the same way as you, that struggle with the same things, that have the same irrational thoughts, that sometimes lose control. We're not perfect people, but we love with all of our hearts, and a lot of us wear our hearts on our sleeves, and it's why we have so much compassion and love for others. So until next time, before I break down, remember to stay strong, and remember, you're never alone.